Recording. Got it. Excellent. All right. And then I'd like to end that. If I can. Okay. All right, Barb, can you see my screen as like the large screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, that's good. Then I think we'll be good to tape then. Okay, good. And we've got good light for you. So that's awesome. We have a couple folks here. I'm going to let them say hello real quick. And then, hello. So just a quick hello. Barb, so you know that I'm not just talking to myself and you. There's actual people here. So that's good. Yay. And then I know Laura, she didn't message me back. So I think she has a young kid. So I think she's probably going to be watching the recording later. So we definitely want to make sure we have a good recording today as best as we can do with the chaos that is. Okay, so this class, the way that it's designed requires some blend markers. And you guys got a PDF, and I'll get your email address and I'll send it to you as well before we leave. Don't let me forget. And then just the colors, I didn't have the right colors in my personal stash, but it's okay. And I also noticed that a couple of my tips are blown out. Like, see how that one's all like, but the good thing is you can use the other tip. So these are older, and I need to, like, when blend markers first came out, I bought them, and then I haven't replaced any of them because I'm cheap. And so it's now time to replace a few, I think. After we had our stamp camp last weekend, we blew through a couple, and I was like, okay, it's time to do that. So the colors that you need, if you wanted to do this, you know, as designed. So cherry cobbler, so like a dark red, polished pink, or melon mambo. They're both like really bright pinks. So calypso coral, which is in the paper, which is really pretty. So saffron, which is the yellow I have. That's the one that's kind of blown out, but it's fine. And then mossy meadow is the deeper, darker green in this paper pack. So, but I'll give some tips and tricks on coloring with blends, because they're alcohol markers and they're a little different than normal markers. When you get up against a black line, you don't have to color all the way to the line, because the color will kind of bleed and it'll meet the line. So a couple other things you need: a pencil for today's class, which is a little bit unusual. And then if you have white embossing powder and Versamark, great. If you don't, you could stamp this one sentiment in black. It would be fine. You could stamp it in white craft ink, although I think white craft ink takes 9 years to dry and sometimes isn't the easiest to see. So I think black would just probably be my preference. You've got your paper pack, which is exciting. This is just kind of a hodgepodgey scrap pack that I have. So you guys have a full pack, and that's half a pack of paper that everybody got for this class. And I have some paper cutters here. So I'll get some paper cutters out, because we'll need to cut our own paper for that. And that's a good lesson. You know, that's a good skill to have, like how to cut your own DSP. And then you each have a half a pack of the little tiny note card envelopes, which are super cute. We call these love notes. Definitely not mailable, FYI, but super cute. And you get 40 in a pack, which is an insane amount of them. So 20 a half pack is more than you'll probably go through in a while. But they're really cute for handing out, like to the Starbucks barista, and, you know, just little happy notes that you can hand out to people. So I like them a lot. You also have 3 full card kits, and then you have a little baggie that has the little love notes. So we're going to make 3 love notes, and that's these 3 guys here. And they're super cute, and there's a lot of little pieces to them. So we'll kind of, you know, work our way through that. And maybe we'll start with the love notes, because they're cute and they're tiny and they don't require any coloring, which is nice. And you've got your little baggie and everything. So you should have in your packet And I'm going to tell you that the directions have both centimeters and inches. And the class, so I participate in like a class bundle, a tutorial bundle, and that one was designed by an Australian demonstrator who does not know our sizing in the US. And so I will just give you a few corrections on sizes because I was like, oh, that is not the American measurement for that. So love notes are actually the easiest card to cut because they're literally 6 by 3. And so out of a 12 by 12, you can get a bunch of them, right? You can get 8. So 6 by 3 scored in half, right? Super easy. These guys, so what we did is we gave you 3 different kind of white pieces, which is kind of cool. So this is the stitched greenery. I hadn't played with it and now I really like it. It's a embossing. I know. It is for the big machine. I know. I hadn't played with it and it's fun. And if you ever want to come over and just like run 1,000 things through the machine, you can. Yeah, it's a metal plate that has all these little stitch pieces and you run it through. It really is like the quilting. I know, it's really cool. So you can see the light through it, which is really neat. So, I made one backer piece that has that. I did another one that has the time worn type embossing folder, which is honestly one of my favorite embossing folders of all time, like all time. And I've been a demo for 9 years. So it is a big one too. I know, but it's nice. It's really nice. And then I just did a plain white one because it's a-okay to not do any of those things. And you'll see that the card is still super cute without anything. So, and Barb, if you have questions, pop up, let me know. Pipe in, whatever. Because I can't see you. I can see you, but you're not on camera. But I can see people in my room too. So I can kind of tell if people have questions. So, okay. So what we're going to need is a piece of the designer series paper that has these big flowers on it. So kind of look through your paper. There's a piece that looks like this that has flowers. The flip side of it has this really bright green. Sometimes it's easier to find them based on the B side rather than the A side. So that's the one we're going to need. And then we're going to need our paper trimmer, which I have plenty of those. Trimming paper is always, I think, the scariest part for people because they don't want to mess up the pretty paper and they don't want to also when you like a paper a lot, sometimes it's emotionally hard to cut paper. So what I've learned over the years, and this is why I know the measurements are wrong on this project. The numbers were not right. So your base piece is 3 by 3, right? Great. So kind of standard, card making says you step it down, right? Kind of a consistent pattern. So this one is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. I went really tight on the layer piece, on the white layer piece. And then this one, I actually went down, see how it's a little bit, it's actually down 2 steps. So it's actually just 2.5 by 2.5. And then we're going to do our DSP to 2 3/8. So we're going to go down 1/8 inch. I just want a little baby border around this. So, but you also kind of want to get a cool flower in your cut too, which is tricky. So I kind of eyed it and said, okay, well, 2 3/8. Okay. I would get a cool flower, and maybe part of a cool flower. So I'm okay with this piece for me. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 2 3/8 long. And then I'm going to cut 2 3/8. And then I'm going to cut 2 3/8. And this is the old trimmer, which has a terrible blade. So you guys don't have to mess with this one. And then I'm actually going to rotate it. I want this as my other 2 3/8. Okay. So now I've got one that has like some corals, some pinks, and then this one's just open. I mean, it's got some, so I'll probably put a sentiment across there, but I've got 3 even squares that are 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. So you have the good trimmer, so that's good. Do you want to use this one? It's okay. It gets stuck a little bit, but it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. So just kind of, you know, pick a slice and then you can work to find, you know, the right flowers and kind of where you want them and how you want them. And Barb, if you have any questions, let me know. You can also put them in the chat, Barb, if you need to, and I'll pull up the chat on this side. So if that makes it better. There we go. Yay. Awesome. Thanks, Barb. Okay. So then I'm just going to hold my these little backers and see like, well, which one do I want with the maroon? Hey, George, you did not get invited to the paper party. You didn't. I know. You're sad that we lost your invitation, Georgie. So I'm going to kind of look and see like, which piece do I want on the coral versus which piece do I want on the green versus the Merlot? And I might change my mind. Who knows? Georgie, Georgie, come here, buddy. Come here. All right. You're being beckoned, George. You're gonna take him for a walk? Okay, that's probably smart. Yeah, George. He's like, oh, I like walks. Walks are good. So what I like to do when I'm doing the paper is I actually always cut towards the.
Really?
It's annoying, but I always cut because
it braces it.
It braces it. Yep. So I'm always cutting towards the guideline. And then, you know, because that would dull one side of your trimming blade more than the other. So then I flip my, you know, the board around and then I cut the because again, I'm frugal. You know, I mean, new blades are not that expensive, but now with the old cutting board, I don't know if I have new blade. I think I might have one set of new blades. So. All right. So then you can start to kind of, you know, take your pieces, lay them out, glue them, figure out, you know, what you want to do. So I will take my, I'll take my little DSP and I'll layer it inside, you know, the pieces that I like. And then when I was prepping this class, I feel like there's some scrap white somewhere in an envelope, but I'm just going to go find more. But Barb, for you and Laura at home, go dig through the other envelopes and see if there's any scrap white. And you probably have some scrap white at home. These are just 1/2-inch pieces. They were scraps in my scrap bucket. But okay, so yeah, so I'm just, exactly. I'm just kind of lining them up and going, well, which one do I like where? And which, you know, which color looks the nicest on each of those. And then did you bring adhesive? Do you have adhesive with you? Okay, good. Okay, excellent. Just want to make sure you guys are covered. So all of this stuff is glued flat. The only thing that's popped up on dimensionals is the sentiment. So these are just glued flat. And you're going to glue the white one down first. So whatever, you know, white you like, you're just going to glue it flat and then glue the next on. So these are classic. They're very classy.
So you're saying you're doing this down to here first?
Yep. I'm doing the white piece first. Yep. So I just kind of centered it up and said, okay, I like that. And then,
is there any special way to hold?
Good question. So there's what they call a valley and a mountain, and you're supposed to hide the mountain.
Oh.
So you're supposed to keep the mountain on the inside.
Okay.
Oops. I know. Well, I don't know that it matters. Honestly, I mean, our card
See, and my thing is like when it doesn't fold even, my thing is worried about getting it so that the front's bigger than the back.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, I do think that. Yes, I think you wouldn't want to see the gap. Yeah, if it's not scored right, which these look like they're scored ish. Okay, they're not my best scoring work. I'll tell you that.
You scored all of them?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, there are no magic paper fairies here, Nancy. I'm like, yes, I scored and cut everything. This class actually wasn't hard to prep. It wasn't as bad as some of the others. There are times when I prep a class and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, that's terrible, but this was not hard at all. Okay, I definitely like that one there. All right, and then I'm gonna do this one here. So if you have the seal, and you're having a hard time getting it to start it on another piece of like, see how I like touch the adhesive with my little runner and then it kind of picks it up. Sometimes like you have to like roll it. So
And I was cheap and didn't buy those.
That's
and
okay.
just,
that's fine too. I mean, I like the liquid adhesive. I use it a lot. But I like the Tombow, but in this case, I used more of this one. I go through phases. Like sometimes when I'm feeling fast, I'd rather use a dry adhesive, not a liquid adhesive. So, I know I really love it too.
It's not a die cut, it's a.
It is a die cut. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab the scrap white too. It's weird. I mean, it's a die cut, but it's not.
So do you put the bumpy side up or down?
You know what? I did bumpy side down, but maybe up is better.
But it's whatever you like.
Yeah,
We'll do it up, but you're doing it down.
yeah. This is so. It's called the stitched.
And I did it this way.
Oh yeah,
Because
stitched.
it reminds me of the.
Look at this thing though.
Oh, ew.
So what was cool was I could run 2 at a time, right? So I just lined up. Actually, I think I was able to get 4 on here. No, I was only able to get 2. I tried to fit. I was like, I can fit more, and I'm like, no, I can only fit 2.
But you
But
cut
it's-
them in half, right? So
Yeah.
you got 4.
No, I could only do 2 because they were a little wide, so you can't get. No, but it's crazy. I've never gotten a die like this, like a big plate die like this. So this was cool. I mean, and sometimes you try new things and you like them. Sometimes you try them and you go, well, that's not for me. I have a few dies like that. Okay, so I'm gonna get some scraps out for us so we can stamp all of these little fun things. These look a little. No, that's it. Yeah. I think there's 3 there, and then I think this should fit. There's just plenty for 3 here. So these are just offcuts, and I keep all my scraps in a baggie because I'm crazy. But then when I need a little scrap, then I've got one ready for me. So you could stamp this. You could stamp these in any color you wanted. I stamped them in Blackberry Bliss. So Mary Merlot is like one of the matching colors in here, but it's a very dark color. I think the Blackberry Bliss looks nice, but you could do black. You could do.
I have that. You can do it.
Yay, you could do Blackberry Bliss. Woohoo. And then the stamp set, we're gonna need all of these because we've got 3.
You like that color too, won't you?
I like Blackberry Bliss. It's a good color. All right, so we need the hello there. We need the always grateful for you. And we need the sending love your way, which is actually a really nice stamp. Okay. So, and these are all just like straight cut little scraps. So you can just stamp them. And remember, if you don't like how you stamped it the first time, you can flip it over and stamp it again. And then guess what? I have 1,000 scraps. So if you really don't like it, you can just keep going. The always grateful for you, I'll just tell you stamp high. So you can fit the U. So kind of stamp higher than you think you would maybe. Like I looked at it and was like, oh, that's tight. See, I gotta go higher. Higher. Yeah, okay, that's better. We'll take it. Sending love your way is actually really skinny and it fits on here. Perfect. Awesome. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, all the things. Are you a experienced stamper?
Novice.
A novice. We love novices.
Actually, I was thinking that, so I moved here 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And I moved from Georgia,
Oh yeah.
and I have stamps from,
From then. Uh-huh. That's
And-
funny. We're in Georgia.
just outside of Atlanta,
Oh, okay.
Sugar Hill.
Okay.
You say you're from Charlotte?
We actually lived in Charleston. Yeah. And I took our Girl Scout troop to Savannah this summer.
Oh, yes.
It was a lot of fun. That was really fun.
I think we should.
Savannah is nice. Charleston's really nice too.
Mhm.
Charleston's a good girls trip situation. So, and then I just put these up on some dimensionals here. I'll give you guys, I'm going to cut the edges. Yep. Paper has two sides and there's plenty of paper. All right. I'm cutting up all the sides of my dimensionals because why not? Gotta use all your resources, right?
So these are just magnetic, or how is it?
So it has a little cling sticker. So there's like a little bit of a sticker and
I didn't do that. Mine are all wooden.
yes. So what's nice is now you don't have to it's a DVD case, right? So it's much tighter storage and you don't have all that wasted resource, of the wood blocks.
Mhm.
And plus you can see where you're stamping a little
Yeah.
bit better, which is nice. So,
You always had to stamp and then cut them.
yeah, that was stamped first, then cut. Yeah. And we have photopolymer stamps that are clear. This set does not come in clear. And then here's some scissors to kind of trim up. Oh, you've got scissors too. Okay, good. So you can kind of trim your pieces to fit, how you want them to fit. And you can offset them, you can center them, you can do this however you want. And then you each got a pack of rhinestones, which who doesn't love a good pack of rhinestones?
It's hard for me.
Stamping.
Can't too hard. So
Oh.
I gotta
Did it blur?
You got you
Yeah.
got the edge. Yep. And you rocked a little bit probably too. So yeah, so tap, tap, tap on the ink and then just straight up, straight down, normal pressure, no need to kill. Yay. We like it when I have a lady in the senior center and she smushes it in like every single time. Can the Stampin' Up! Die cuts be used in the Big Shot? Yes, they can, Barb. Your daughter lives in Vidalia, Georgia. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's nice and close. Yeah, all the Stampin' Up! Die cuts can be used in the Big Shot. The Big Shot was our old machine. We now have a stamp and cut emboss machine, whatever. It's just not by Sizzix. And they can be used in the Sizzix, any of the Sizzix machines. Some of them have like weird adjustable plates that are a little bit dicey, but they work. So good. Okay. I'll come over and claim that. You just leave it there. I'll come to you. Yeah, my trash can is quite full. So, there.
Yes.
And then I just use baby wipes. I know we have the chamois and we've got the other thing too, but let me see if I can get some. Smoke it too. Since my baby's, doesn't use this anymore.
I have a new grandbaby.
Oh, how old's the grandbaby?
3 months.
Oh my. You know.
I just probably should have done that. I thought she used that machine.
So these are blue bonnet scented baby wipes.
Oh, wow.
HEB came out with it. I love them. They're amazing. And so I might have bought the entire stock of blue bonnet baby wipes.
So it's crooked.
It is crooked.
So what should I do?
So what's the flip side? You just need to stamp the flip side, stamp it again.
Sorry, did you pull it?
No, it's fine. Whatever. I did clean it, but we can clean it again. That's what's magic.
So how do you keep it from doing that?
Well, you just try again. And see what you. I would say go to one side, like maybe stamp to the left. Yeah, maybe it'll help you center up a little bit. Sometimes when I stamp in the middle of a large white piece, it makes me crooked. Like, so if I kind of left or right, justify myself a little. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I find it helps to go like justify yourself to one side or the other when you have those big strips. So. And then if you want to bling it up, you can add some rhinestones to your heart's content on here. You have big ones and little ones, and I think, you have a glut of little ones. So the little ones.
So is the glue better on these?
I like the glue. I think it's fine, but the tape is fine too. It really is kind of whatever. Sometimes you can see the glue behind DSP. Other times it's fine. I think it kind of depends on how heavy handed you are
What is
too.
DSP?
Designer series paper. So our pretty patterned paper. And then I'm just adding 3 diamonds on every card because I was taught the rule of odds. So that looks weird there. So that one's not going there. All right. Hey, bud. Diamonds are a girl's best friend when they're on your cards. Otherwise, they're not necessary. All right.
Shoes and purses.
Well, yes, all the things. So we went to, yeah, we went to the Lunar Festival today at a paper store in Austin called the Paper Craft Pantry. It's run by 2 Asian American girls, and they have a big Lunar Festival that they've started doing every year, and they bring in lots of other like Asian American vendors, and it's really cool. So we went, they had lion dances and everything. Wow. Yeah, it was really fun. And they have a paper crafting store. I mean, so it's like, I know it's trouble. So we walk in, Marion's like, there's a wall of pens. And I was like, I know. And there's a wall of cards, and there's a wall of notebooks. And there's, I was like, oh my gosh, you need to go. Your daughter just brought your granddaughter. Aw. Okay. Sounds good, Barb. We'll talk to you later. Okay. Aw. Okay, so we'll keep taping and then they'll be able to watch the replay. All right, so I added, a ton of little bling every, yeah, like, fun. I don't know. You can arrange them and do whatever you want. I have lots and lots and lots of little cards. You're good. These are a good little warm up. We have a lady on our team who loves making the little note cards. Like this is like her obsession, is these little tiny note cards. And so I think it's fun. They're super cute. It's nice to hand out little treats to people,
This would be good in a gift.
Yeah.
A gift bag.
Yeah, these
instead of
are
a huge card.
Yeah, these are great for that, So, and I think they're just sweet, in the teachers' boxes at school, and like just something little. So, yes, the paper crafting store was fun. I was like, oh, washi tape and paper and cards and stickers.
Did you do big damage?
I didn't. I was good. I kept it together. They gave us, for like some of us did this VIP pass so that we could like help support the festival or whatever. And so you got like this gift bag with like all these cute little things in it. And so there was washi tape, and there was like the red envelopes that are beautifully decorated, and and then we went through and we bought some other stuff, but I think we did pretty good. Like it wasn't, I tried to support, like I'll buy a sticker from you. And I think, I was trying to be, equitable yet economical. All right. so we have a hello, we have a sending love. I like sending love your way. I like the font.
Mhm.
I like that one a lot. Grateful. And lots of mix and matching. So yeah, these are cute. These are cute little note cards.
I put one in his lunchbox.
Yay. I love lunchbox notes. I should put one in Marianne's. That would be wise. We could all use a little something
Mhm.
extra right now. All right, so, and then, yeah, you've got dimensionals for your sentiments. Here are some dimensionals.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me grab a few more. See. Good. All right. Never have too many dimensionals.
So you put them all over the place. I mean,
I kind of moved them around. Yeah, like I put some up top, some down low, some in the middle. You know, I just kind of, I don't know, wherever I thought they kind of fit, you know, with the either there was a naked spot.
That's what.
Yeah.
I'm going for the
Yeah,
naked
either the
spot.
naked spot or a really heavy spot, you know. And I did some that were centered and some that were kind of, you know, to the right or the left justified. So
just need one of these per.
I would do 2. Yeah, and I did 3 on the log bar, honestly. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm an over-dimensionaler. It's a thing. So bueno. Fun note cards.
I like when you make it space.
Yeah, it helps fill the holes for sure. So the other thing we had done with that paper at one point was, especially that sheet, was we had like cut out, like fussy cut out the little flowers. Oh, George is back. George. He's like, oh yes. He's like, I came to see what are the things that are happening here. Georgie. Nose off. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hi. Oh, I know. Yeah, seriously. No. I don't think Miss Nancy wants some kisses. Oh my gosh, George. Yes, the other day he like jumped up and like met Jonathan's nose at his
Oh,
nose.
no.
Yes, just like that. And I was like, buddy, like, oh, Georgie, come on. You know they like you. That's why you keep coming back. So, oh, he's like, oh, I'm so sad, so depressed. They fill your life.
Oh.
That is for sure. Okay, so our next card is the light green card. So it's the Granny Apple Green base. And this one goes together. It's pretty fast. So I think it's pretty easy.
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, you
I
can.
can do that
Yeah,
later.
you can diamond. You can bedazzle at some point because there's plenty of bedazzling opportunities. Yeah, so they might be in reverse order. So I think it might be the one on the bottom. So light, like kind of bright green. There we go. The bright green. Yeah. Yes, bedazzling is you know. I know everybody gets picky about where they put stuff. I just throw them on and pray it looks good. So. Okay, so this is a very bright green. We will be covering most of it, don't worry. So this is the card that has the, you know, kind of a large swath of flowers. You'll notice that it goes top to bottom full. So it's a 5.5 and then by 4. So we're going to leave a little bit of green on either side when we cut our designer series paper. And then you've got a couple of little bars and we're going to stamp the hello there on one of the little bars. And then we're going to trim them off the side. So it's actually not a hard card to make. We just have to get our designer series paper, which I'm a little nervous to leave that trash can on the floor, but all right. So
I know why.
someone might bust in and decide he wants, do I know what? A what
So it's
white?
this one.
It is that one. Yes. It is pretty. It is pretty. It was like, it'll be okay. That's why you have 2 sheets of each one. So you have one to like sacrifice, and one to, so you're going to want to make sure. So this will be cut to 5.5, and then this will just be cut to 4. And so just pick a piece. I'm probably going to do, probably, I don't know which one. I'll do that one. Okay. And then I'm going to hand you the other trimmer. Go. So I would go the other way. So you preserve a long piece. So yeah, so go long way and do 5.5 for that. Yep, do 5.5 for that
I
one.
listened to the wrong thing.
No, it's okay. It's good.
All right, so do you not go that way for this either?
I don't. I'm weird.
Okay, so tell me, what were you saying? Like, then you turn your blade? Or-
Yeah, you can just flip the blade around, or you can flip the whole machine around, but most people just flip the blade. I can show you how to do it. So 5.5. You seem too far. Yeah. Perfect. And then now this piece is preserved for later. And then you'll cut that way at 4. And so just decide which 4 you like better. Do you like the blue better, or do you, like which way you leaning?
I like that big flower right there. Okay, so what's left over would be perfect for a bookmark.
Yeah.
4.
4, just straight 4. Mhm. You once you start doing it, you get into a habit, I think. But all right, so our designer series paper is just going to be, right up against the edge. And if the card, is a little too long, you could always trim the, you could take scissors and trim right here. But I think I measured these right. It's all human, so
Isn't this pink really cute
it is.
for spring?
Yeah, it is.
Mine is right. That was right. I must have,
Is it?
yeah.
It should go like just tight, top and bottom.
okay.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Perfect. Yep, that's it. Yep. So that is it. And then the white piece is for the inside. You could write on this Granny Apple Green and no one would sneeze at it, but it's nice to have a little more finished look on the inside. So you can put your little white panel on the inside. And then, so this is what we're working towards. So with the hello there, you're going to stamp it more to the left because we're going to trim the right off. So, it doesn't have to be super close, but, just know that we're going to trim a piece off. So, and then what I found was helpful was because you want this spaced, like you want the mossy meadow kind of spaced where you want the white. I don't know. I kind of held them together when I laid the mossy meadow down, so I know how far to like overhang it. But that's me being extra special. And then I did pop this up with dimensionals. So I glued this piece down flat, and then I popped this up with dimensionals. And then scissors. And then I flip it over so I can see what I'm cutting. And then I cut. You don't have to, but.
Shared and
You want to
distributed.
center it and put it?
Well, what is that? How does that look?
I mean, I think it's okay, but I like the off, I I think it looks more modern to have it hanging off the side.
Put that cute end on.
But it's okay. You have another cute end. You already need one good end. You don't need two. It'd be perfect all around. All right, so there's the sentiment and there's the ink. So this is just black memento ink. So
Oh,
George, that's quite the style, friend.
I bet he likes it.
Oh my goodness.
Is
He's
he?
like, I don't know. Yeah, he needs a haircut. So we put a headband on him the other day. He looked like Richard Simmons. It was hilarious. He has a really long snout, and when we did the hair band, it like accentuated his long snout and his hair. Go get the headband and show him the headband because that was quite funny.
I can do that.
Yeah, George. Yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna go for that trash. Like literally the minute you walked in. He's predictable. He's nothing if he's not predictable. Did you get it? Yeah, that was fine. I like that one. That's good. It's not crooked. It'll be fine. If it's
Stamp it up.
if it's too perfect, no one will
not
know
for
you
me.
made
I
it.
can't cut that end on. I can't do it.
Okay, then don't do it.
Sorry.
Do you.
I just can't do it.
Now, what you can do, can I show you something?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So if you
Please,
really
always.
want to preserve the ends, you can cut this in half and you could end up with a little green flag on either end. And that would be very, very cute. You want to do that? Okay, let's do that. So here's an acceptable alternative. So what we'll do is we'll cut the green in half. We'll put a little bit of adhesive on the back of the white. And then we'll do a green banner end on one side and a green banner end on the other side. And then you can
Yeah.
pop the whole thing up.
I am.
There you go.
I love it.
Okay. Now you have like banner ends. So awesome. Thank you.
Really like that.
Pew. Maybe. I was like, maybe.
It's a long banner, so it needs three.
It's definitely gonna need three. Yeah, that's a three. I'm all about well supporting our sentiments, you know. So. And then yeah, a couple of little dazzling diamonds and you're done. So oh, let's see. Oh yeah, bud. Yeah.
Richard.
Richard
Show
Simmons.
me your stretch.
I'm telling you, like this was like when we did it, I was like, oh, you look like Richard Simmons. That's hilarious. George, you
Okay,
were
so do I want
funny.
this in the bald spot? Or you want
No,
it down below?
put it in the greenery.
Okay, do you want it still, you want it off center?
No. You can do wherever you want, but I would say up a little bit. Yeah, like right there. That's nice.
He's like,
Oh, I know. It's just so silly. Just so silly. She being silly with you.
You're so cute.
It's
I'll
like,
mess with the sparkles later.
yeah.
Otherwise you won't give that the
Sparkles later.
But dude, are you tired?
He's like, I gotta walk. I gotta walk in. The walk was good. All right. So we've got this is an easy fast card, right? Paper, sentiment, pretty.
But the flag really.
It's nice.
oh,
The little flaggies. Oh,
oh.
I like this die. It's the stylish shapes. Those are nice. They're good shapes. We used them a lot in this class. We used the squares, the banners, and circles. So they're my favorite die set. I've used them a lot like this year. When they took away a few of our other stitch shapes, we got a little upset. But then they brought us these and we are like, oh, okay. It's okay.
Never mind.
We're fine. We'll survive. So, okay. So the next one is it's the Mossy Meadow one. So the dark green one. Y'all are doing great. So these two the next two have a little bit of coloring on them.
Oh,
So close,
so close.
so close, but you didn't cut it. It's just, it's like
Perfect.
Well,
it's like right
It's fine.
there.
evidence of my homemade.
Hey, you know, when I first started making cards, people didn't believe that I made them. And I was like, no, I make them. And they're like, oh, and I was like, no, I make them. Like,
I know I have people calling now.
oh,
Like,
and you're like, yes, I did. I'm so fancy.
Fancy Nancy.
Fancy Nancy.
what could I call my cards?
Ooh, you're good.
I was thinking Nancy's notes.
Nancy's notes, I like that
That's
too.
good.
That's also nice.
It's like bling in their fancy.
I love those books. I love those from you.
Fancy Nancy, I love them all. She used to read a lot of Fancy Nancy. We have a lot of them.
Watching it is so weird.
Oh, is there a show?
know.
Oh, I don't know about that. That would be weird. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
No, you're not behind. You're all good. We're doing dark green. We're doing white on the inside for sure. Because there's no way.
We're just having lunch.
Good ride on.
Yeah, there's no way you can ride on this dark mossy meadow.
What's George eating for food?
Puppy food. Puppy kibble still. He yeah. Sorry. Can you give me some water in a minute? But he seems very happy.
Everybody's.
Maybe I'll get water. Oh, I know. These allergens. We were outside.
Why you were sniffling?
Actually getting this stuff on her straight. Oh, I do have my eyes. You get my eyes checked this week.
Oh, yeah.
I am. Wednesday's the day. Yeah, I am. Cause I was coloring yesterday. I did that garden stamp. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, my eyes were like, I was doing the bench. I'm like, where exactly is that?
Time for a new eye appointment. Yeah.
Wednesday. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
well, I
yeah.
don't know, 'cause this is hard.
Getting a little bit harder.
Oh
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We're recording this class for later, so okay, that means you're on the internet forever. So, okay, so we need this card has the kind of almost, it's not vines, but they look like little vines. So we're gonna need this piece. It's the same measurement, 5.5 by 4 across, and it's just leaving that little border. And I think this is definitely the Australian influence because they do this a lot. Americans tend to trim to 5 1/4. So, hey George, you gonna help yourself to some paper? Yeah. Well, you know, bud, there might be good snacks down there. Actually, I see part of that treat that he was playing with the other day. So maybe that is what is there. George, there's another piece of treat here. Here, look, hey. Look. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
5.5.
5.5. Yep.
I'm gonna do like that first because I'm slow.
No, you're fine. You're good.
I'm slow.
No one's slow.
I'm slower.
Everyone, I know. I was like, it's not a competition. I was like, we're good.
4 even.
4 even. Yeah. George, you're a silly goober. Hi. Hey there. Hi. You're going to be part of our crafting situation? Yeah, you could lay down. That'd be nice. I don't think it'll happen.
Sorry. Okay.
No, you're good.
So wait.
5 and go the other way. Go 5 and
That's not like Japanese, no.
yeah, go 5.5 the other way.
I need her to sign. Maybe I won't be cutting. But
5.5 by 4. A little bit off, I don't know. When I was measuring this. Who knows?
sorry, I just put down my things.
All right, so here we go. We got this, we got this, we got this.
So do you like when they're full length like this? What do you think?
I like it actually. I think it is a little more modern, and I like that just the card base kind of peeks out. I do really like this blue. I used this on a card that we made in the summer with this paper because I really like this blue. Yeah, it's very cheerful. Yeah, it's a nice piece. All right, now why don't you go work on your history, okay? I know. Well, go. You can bring your history and work at my desk if you want. And then he'll settle down if you work at my desk.
What grade are you in?
8th
I
grade.
got a 9th grader.
Yeah. Here in Dripping or in
Wimberley.
Wimberley? Yeah.
With my daughter's baby. 42.
Whoa, no, thank you. Pass. Okay.
But I had boys that were
Oh,
14
was
and
a
9.
bonus.
Oh, so you
She
got a
was
girl.
Do you call
That's
her a bonus?
Uh-huh.
She
Yeah,
was a bonus.
She is a bonus.
girls are fun.
I rushed ahead.
Oh no, you did it. You're good. Yeah, and did you glue it down?
Yeah.
Okay, no big deal.
Oh, I didn't know.
Um,
Oh,
so usually you stamp first and then you glue in case you screw it up and you need to flip it over.
yeah.
But you know what? It's okay. You're gonna make this happen. I have no doubt. You can make this happen. So, all right, here we go.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So, just with these, just make sure you can turn it over and you can see that you've inked the whole thing. Like I saw there was a little bald spot, so I went back. So just make sure you cover it well so you have a nice image. And then when you're stamping this, it's going to be tight on the top and the bottom. But extra space on left and right. So just kind of, I would use the bottom. It has an envelope. So it has a straight line. So you can kind of line it up and go, okay, straight line and ta-da, right? So we're just using the straight line of the envelope on the bottom to line it up. So this one's actually pretty easy. And then the other one we're stamping is on a circle. So circles are lovely. They're round. So as long as you can see the middle, you're in a good place. So normally I would probably stamp these and die cut them later. But when you're prepping for a class, you die cut it first and then ship it and then pray that everybody hits the mark, And you can see mine's a little bit to the right. It's a little off center left and right. No one's going to notice that when it's done. So
Did you rub it on?
I did. I did it. I flipped it. Yeah. So I didn't rub it, but I just kind of press hard everywhere. Let's see. Same. I feel like there's a spot missing in the middle. So I just kind of do this. I go, I just kind of press. And I like to press like this so I can see the stamp and go, okay, yes. Now that's well covered, right? Now you can see.
Where did I hear you say people are mashing your stamps?
Yeah, so these you can mash.
Okay. Okay.
So
These-
Memento ink is meant to be mashed.
okay.
It's these pads, the water-based pads that when you mash them, this is it's a felt pad. And so it's really sturdy. It's really firm. So if you mash here, you're not going to get the edges. The foam pads you mash, you're going to get that halo, right?
I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. But this is a felt pad.
Nice.
Perfect.
Very nice.
There you go. And that's the difference between a felt pad and a foam pad. For me, a felt pad, you can push really, really hard. A foam pad, you've got to just tap, tap, tap. But the felt pad, you can be very firm and aggressive with it. And it's
I don't have the
A-okay.
black, so I have the saddle brown.
Oh yeah, but that stays on, and that's different because that's
Okay,
a permanent
so
ink. You need Memento Black because you cannot use blend markers
the alcohol markers with regular. Okay.
with anything but Memento.
Oh.
You have to use Memento ink,
Okay, so
and we only have it in black.
okay. So what's the difference between this and the brand, the saddle browns?
That stays on, which is a permanent ink. So one is permanent, one is water-based, and one is chemical based.
So I used that brown yesterday for the
Yeah,
garden thing.
yeah.
Is that the right thing to use?
Yeah. And you use blend markers. So you need to be careful with your blend markers
I
around
remembered
those.
what you said not to go.
Yeah, because sometimes it'll pick up the ink. So
this would be
better.
So why did I get
The saddle brown, I think it might have been we did that because I remember didn't you want to stamp coasters or something? You were trying to do a permanent project, like the little canvas bags or coasters. I only use, so you use stays on when you're going to do water. So let's say you're going to do watercoloring.
That was watercolor.
Then there you go. That's why you would use stays on. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so I did.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So watercoloring is fine. Blend markers. And I actually write the word blend on my ink pad. So I
should want
remember.
water
Yeah.
on the other one. Okay, okay.
It's the only way I can remember like what goes with what.
Okay.
So, all right. So coloring wise, I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the camera too, because you can always watch this later too. So we're going to kind of, because coloring is it's a next level thing. All right. So, oops. Well, I can also throw some colors around. Okay. So a couple of things, if you want your images to come out really, really crisp, and I'm going to bring the sample in too. So you'll see here, there's like some darker pieces and some lighter pieces, right? There's shading, and that's what you can do with blend markers. You can't do that with regular markers. So in order to do that, so some people work light to dark, some people work dark to light. I work dark to light. Everyone has their preference. And I don't know why it's one way or the other. So what I do is when I'm working, I will take my dark marker and I'll go in and I'll add some dark where I think there might be some shadows. And I use the bullet end, which is the finer point end, because I want to have a little bit more control. These are also very small flowers. Like this is a tight spot. So I won't use the brush end very often. Then I go in with the lighter color and I'm going to rub over the area where the dark would meet the light. And what that does is it blends the color so that you don't see any like harsh lines. If you have a harsh line, then you can go back and you can just keep adding more color. And it'll erase the lines. What this means is that you're going to bleed through, which is fine, no big deal. I have never had it actually bleed onto my like surface. This table is really old, doesn't matter, but I do put scrap paper down when I'm doing these markers, and my daughter does too, because you probably don't want this all over your area. What's cool is that it won't pill the paper. So you're never going to get any kind of pilling. It's never going to tear your paper or like, rub it up like a normal marker would. And you're literally just like adding tons of color on here. And you're rubbing that area. It seems bizarre, but you just rub it until there's no more lines. So now you've got some shading, right? In a way that you wouldn't. And let's say I look at my sample and I go, I still can see a line, I might come back and I might even add some more, because you can literally keep going over this. Now that's really bold, like color on a finished product. I wouldn't recommend that for everybody, but there's that. Okay, so that's the green. I'm going to show you the red and the flowers. I'm going to show you all the flowers and how I color them, because there is a kind of a strange technique to each of them. So, actually I need the green back real quick. There's one other green spot. There is a green right under these flower buds right here. There's like little green. Yeah, there's a little green triangle under each of those. So you can just do that with the light one. So then for the Calypso Coral, I'm going to do a spot of dark, and I'm going to do it at the base of each flower, and I'm going to do it at the fold. So there's like an inner flap and an outer flap, right, of your flower. And where those two meet, right, there would be like a shadow, right, behind one petal into the next petal. So you do a darker spot there, and then you get your light. I mean, this looks silly ugly, right? But the minute that you add this and you just keep rubbing, and I'll just rub those spots out. So then you won't look like you have a diseased flower. You'll look like you have a well-shaded flower. So some of it comes from art and like art classes. So I was going to major in art in college. My parents convinced me not to, but so I did a lot of art growing up and a lot of coloring. And then some of this is just some technique videos, watching when people are playing around with the alcohol markers. Now the bigger flowers are actually the weirdest ones in here. So we're actually going to use the light cherry cobbler. We're going to mix our colors. It's going to be wild. So I'm actually going to add red to the bottom, and then I'm going to tuck a little bit of red in these folds. So I'm going to add a little bit of red in that fold, and I'm going to add a little bit of red at the base of these flowers. And you'll see how I'm not coming on, like I'm not getting on the line, like I'm getting close to the line, but not on the line. So you're going to add red, and then we're going to add a little bit of melon mambo. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, shade a little bit up, come back in, add a little bit more. And the reason I do the dark first, and some people don't, they do dark later. I just think it's easier to like add a little bit of dark and then add a lot of light to blend it. The only time you'll want to come back and add dark later is like if something like it just needs more pop on the yellow, I do it. So then now I can be a little bit messier and looser, right, with my light color. And I do use the brush end on this. And I'm a lefty, so I work kind of left to right. So see, I'm just going to rub over that. And that's going to just kind of blend that
I
out.
like it with the white on it.
Yeah, it actually is kind of
Oh,
cool.
it is.
Yeah, it is fun. And you could definitely play with that. So then,
Contrast.
yeah, it definitely has a lot of contrast. And you can come back in, there's a color lifter. So there's a marker that will lift color, and you could actually come in and like highlight like some of the tips white with the color lifter too, to add like a little bit more depth and contrast. Now, I will tell you with the
I
yellow,
don't have one of that.
yeah, and I
I have a blender.
it won't do it. The blender pen won't do anything with this, which is interesting. My So Saffron is very, very dry, so I apologize. This is the one I'm going to need to replace ASAP probably. So it's just going to do, I'm going to do a very light yellow, and I'm going to try to like fill space basically with this. And then I'm going to come back with the darker So Saffron, which actually does have juice, and I'm going to highlight. And I'm just following the lines that Stampin' Up has given us, right? So I'm just going to kind of follow those lines. And then we've got our guy. So that's the coloring part. And then we're going to do some heat embossing. So I'll have one of you color while the other heat embosses, and then we'll kind of alternate. So whoever wants to,
Whatever you have your pick.
how about you color,
Okay.
and we'll heat emboss. So I'm going
Okay.
to show how to heat emboss on the camera, and then we'll heat emboss yours.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our hello there, and we're gonna do, we've got our little Calypso coral piece, which is super cute. And we've got white embossing powder. And then we have our Versamark. So we're gonna, Versamark is, it is a very interesting ink. So it's a watermark ink. So
Oh.
you could stamp like flower images on something, and it'll create like a watermark effect, which is kind of cool. But you can also adhere things. So we have a glue that is, it's called heat and stick powder. And so you could stamp an image, you could sprinkle this glue on it, heat it, and then that image becomes tacky, and it'll take stuff. For instance, gold leaf, you can attach gold leaf to it. So it's pretty cool. Versamark has some really interesting uses. We also have a lot of embossing powders. So we have a white, a black, we have a gold, a copper, and a silver, and we have a clear. So the other way that you can use embossing powders is you can stamp an image in clear and heat it up, and then you get an embossed resist. So then you could watercolor on top of it, right? And then your image resists the color. So you can, yeah, so you can do some really cool stuff. In this case, we're just going to stamp a sentiment and make it pop with our white embossing powder. So what is tricky about this is you're going, you can just barely see it. And hopefully you got it right. If not, you can always flip it over and do it on the other side too. Again, if it's not perfect, it's okay. I have some of the powder in here. Some people just kind of put it in the container and shake it around, and that works perfectly fine.
You
the fancy Band-Aids
I
and.
know. So we have a really fancy like embossing kit. But I have had my powders in these little containers for years, and this is just kind of how I've done it for years. If you have a bunch of excess powder, and even if you don't, I like to just give it a good flick on the back because it'll shake loose what it shouldn't have. And then we'll heat this up and it'll make it nice and shiny and bright. So we'll go do that and we'll get yours done too. So why don't you come here with your piece? And then we will. Oh, Jordan, on the move. Oh dear. So excited. So excited. Okay, so you can stamp it with that. Okay.
Now pay good attention, 'cause you can teach me how to do this.
Pay good attention.
So I'm gonna have to email
Hey, handsome. Don't bump me.
Georgie.
Don't bump me.
I was like, no, we can't have you in the middle of that.
Now off to one side
Yeah,
again.
yeah, off to one side. Yeah, I was like, and the camera's in your way too. So I felt
It's
that.
okay.
It's more challenging stamping with a camera.
It certainly is.
Yeah, I know. It's a extra special skill I've learned. Yeah, that should be good. Just kind of pop it off.
Oh.
Yep, that's okay. And we'll flip it over. Yeah, there it is. Good.
Okay.
And then just put them down in there and kind of shake them around.
Do it on the camera.
Yeah, shake them, shake them, shake them. Yeah, there you go.
Lost my flicking skills.
I know. I'm like, okay, so don't worry about that. Don't do it with your nail.
Okay.
I've got a paintbrush here. And so I'm going to give it a good flick. And then a little paintbrush.
Is there anything on it or just?
Okay.
Okay.
So it just means that like electrostatically, like it picked up some more stuff. There, that should be pretty good. I'll tell it to, yeah, that looks pretty good.
Great. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, so now we're gonna you can take that. I'll go over here. We're moving, Jordan, we're moving. It's dangerous. So Stampin' Up has this like set of tweezers that are like, you can like, it holds it, you don't have to do any tension. So you can do that on your end. I think it's smart. I have this little clipboard that I've used. Before Stampin' Up came out with that, I found this in the dollar section at Target. And so you're gonna see there's a change. Oh, God. Yeah, there
It's the
it is.
hair dryer.
It sounds like a hair dryer. Yeah.
Oh,
All right, so we'll do yours.
Woo. Do you know how to do it? I do. I do now. I got all the shit.
Yay! Awesome. All right. So,
Okay.
Georgie,
Okay, I forget which two colors for the dark one. and the
I
big
did
one?
the light real red, just the light real red. So the one in the front,
This is
the one in the
this
front,
and
and then the mellow mambos.
tiny.
Yep. Yep. And then you can start to color with the ones that she's done with. So, Georgie,
Oh, Cody.
come here, buddy. I know you love her, and I know that you know that she loves you. I know, and you just want all the things. All the things, buddy. You're so nosy. I know. There you go, buddy. Just like that. Good boy. All right. Cool. So, and then once we've colored, then we'll adhere our piece to our piece. So this is also part of that stylish stitched shapes sorry, I can't ever say it. Stylish Shapes Stitched Dies. It's just too many S's, and that's just not going to happen. But it has squares and circles and banners, and it has 4 circles, 4 squares, and 4 banners. So I think this is the largest square, if I'm not mistaken. And then card here somewhere. And all this stuff is just flat glued down. The only thing we're going to pop up with dimensionals is the little sentiment guy. So you're fine. You're good. It's coloring. So. And I realize I move incredibly fast. Like, this is what my mother-in-law, she's like, you're too fast. All right, and then I'm going to show you how to cut a banner end because no one knows how to do this. So you're going to cut on your piece, you're going to cut up the middle, and I'm going to make sure it's on camera. So you're going to cut up the middle, just like that, a little cut. Then you're going to go from one side to the middle, and then you're going to go from the other to the middle. And that's going to give you a little banner. And if it looks a little wonky, you can always fix it like that. Definitely looks wonky, but I'm fixed it now. But that's just an easy banner. Here we go. My banner cutting skills have been a little arrested. All right. Nice. More diamonds. So it's interesting. These basic jewels have been around for a long time. Stampin' Up's out of a long time, but they're actually really hard to find now on the website, and I keep ordering the wrong kind. And so for the longest time, I kept ordering this other kind, and I kept getting more and more packages of the other kind in the mail. I was like, that's not what I want. But I finally figured out what the code for this one was. So. So pretty.
So does this take a while to dry?
It doesn't,
to glue
it
on?
dries instantly. So, which is great. So you can't smear it, and it dries, dries instantly, which is great. So. Nice. All right. Really nice. When I saw it in the annual catalog, I was like, oh, I'm definitely doing a glass
I
of
know,
that.
especially when she said, I want to do Valentine's. I'm like, I gotta order that one.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Okay, so
Let's do your little, you should have a small piece of Calypso Coral. Maybe. Oh, there it
There it
is.
is.
Haha,
Okay.
there it is. Okay.
Okay, Georgie.
Here, you're gonna stay there. I'm
Okay.
gonna bring it to you so
Okay.
you don't have to move and he doesn't have to move and no one.
So
So you're just gonna stamp that.
Tap, tap.
Yeah. And then, yep. And then try to do it left justified. Yeah.
way over.
Yep.
Not too high. Can you turn it over?
Yeah, you can turn it over.
And then these,
Yep. Or for the, actually it's this one. So there's a dark cherry cobbler. You don't want that. Read the side. There's like a little label on the side.
Okay, this is a good side to put it in down.
Actually, up. Good side up. Really is. Okay, good. So I'm going to show you got a little bit of a halo. That's okay. You see how you got some
Because
halo, but that's okay because it's easy to get rid of. That's it.
So that's because I hit the edge with the.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to wipe the powder off the back. It adhered on the back one too because it's Versamark, but we don't need it on the back. So cool. Okay. And we'll go over and heat this one.
Oh, it's okay.
So cute. The Girl Scouts made those for the seniors. Yeah. And we'll use the fancy tweezers. So you don't have to hold anything. You just hold it there. I have.
So you do have this.
I do. I use it for the dark one, so we don't use it for white. So fast. Not great. Yeah, the Dollar Tree at Target is a problem. Yeah.
Okay, so you have these jewelries.
Yeah, those are old school, like we had them years ago. But then they're rusted. It's just like some paper that's punched and it's stamped on. Yeah, I think that hurt.
Is it a job?
Yeah. And then we're gonna do another round of Valentine's in a couple weeks.
Okay, so what were you telling me? Did you flag it? Is that
I
what you-
did. So you'll probably want to trim it a little bit on, it's probably too big of a flag right now, right? So yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect.
Scissors.
Yeah, you need a pair of snips bad. Here, borrow mine. That's gonna drive me crazy.
Can you see shaking?
Yeah, I can't. I was like, no, don't do that. Yeah, and I mean, snips don't stay sharp forever. Like I've had to get a new pair like recently because I had a pair that kind of went jaggedy on me. So, all right, I'm gonna get a new wipe. That wipey's purple now. It has seen better days. All right.
Those are sharp. I thought these were my, remember the other day I bought real crappy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The other day you brought like kids scissors. Those were like,
I must have had them in my bag with Mia here and.
that was funny. I was like, those are safety
not gonna
scissors.
work.
I was like, those are not gonna work. We need scissors that you can like, you know, kill yourself with. So,
Okay, yeah, that's.
yeah, they're nice. I like that they cut all the way to the point, you know.
Did you pop this up?
I did not. I flat ran that panel down flat. I popped up the little sentiment. Yeah.
It's gonna be trying to notice.
No, the big ones fit just right. Yeah.
You know what to cut and make that happen, don't you?
All right, and the last one is also a bunch of coloring. So for folks watching the recording later, yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Oh yeah, you're in. So for those of you watching the recording, or if you guys want to watch the recording later, I'll send it to you too. I'm going to show, it's the same coloring technique. It's the same colors, so it's not that big of a deal. There's just one little trick. I'll show this. So you have this panel of Mossy Meadow, and you're actually going to use a ruler and a pencil. We're going to make a banner that matches the same angle, which is really wild. So this banner is like 3 1/8 across. So we're going to go 1.5, maybe in a little tiny tick. Okay. And we've got our piece here. So we're gonna pull this down until it matches the angle, which that actually matches pretty well. And then match that angle. All right, so now we've got an angle that's gonna match. And we're gonna throw my scissors. Thanks. Thank you. All right. And I'll show you guys how to do this with yours, because this is like the one weird kind of trick with this. So you're gonna cut that. So we're gonna make our own banner end on this really big banner, and it's gonna match the same angle as this.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really wild. And then we're gonna cut this banner. We're gonna tape this banner to do this. But I'll show you guys how to do that, because I'm gonna stop the recording in a second so that we're a little bit easier. We don't have to be on recording all the time. So the base of this card is the same. It's the exact same as all the other ones we've done, right? So you've got, you have a piece of white to go on the inside. I don't, apparently. I don't know why. And then we're going to use this really moody, yeah, it's got a lot of the Merlot in it, which is really pretty. So we're going to use that piece. And then I'm going to show how this kind of glues together to make this. So basically we're creating like a false, I kind of trimmed that wonky, but so it helps us elongate the banner. So we're going to do this really wacky thing with these two pieces, but for those of you on camera, you have it in print and now you've seen it in real life. So, and then we're just going to stamp and color the round piece as well. So, okay. So for those of you watching at home, or if you're watching the replay later, that's a-okay. Thanks so much for joining us. And I hope you come next month when we have another card class, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye y'all.